Facundo Carvalhan at the Bahia Club, which is one of those great things that, to me, where you've got ex-players, old players coming back. You've got Pepe Sanchez and Hernan Hassan went there and finished his career. They're building the program. Then you see that automatically, or they get a number of players playing on the national team. And that's sort of success, breeding success stuff. And that's, you expect to see Argentina start to rebuild to get back to those sort of glory days of being Olympic champions. So.
Well, we're about ready to tip it off. The quarterfinal between Argentina and Spain. Well, good afternoon, folks. Welcome back to Cairo, Egypt. We're not that far from the pyramids and not that far from the Sphinx. Interesting part of the world, to put it mildly. And this is where we have the FIBA Under-19 Basketball World Cup. And it's the quarterfinal between Argentina in white and Spain in the dark uniforms. And two big men jumping center. And it's going to be Argentina's Cafaro, who knocks it out of bounds. Just 17 years of age, Cafaro. So it's going to be Argentina ended up with the ball here. Corvalán, Baule. And the pass to Cafaro, he gets rejected, but he's able to tap it back outside. And shot clock winding down, and the miss, but the offensive rebound, and that interior defense for Spain comes up with the block.
Well, that's how you protect the ring. First two plays.
Figueras just kind of lost control of the ball as he got inside.
Almost looked like he thought like he was going to have to pass because he fumbled it looking. He had a straight layup.
Three-pointer no good. Now Spain off and running. Font and inside and draws the foul. Corvalán rather.
That's a bonus getting Corvalán to pick up a foul in that situation. Font will be disappointed he didn't complete the play because he really was under control. But well, Spanish defense, okay, got penetrated pass, but it's easy to construct your defense when you've got that much ring protection, you know, behind you and helping, and it just shows what an athlete that Iggy Tor is. He just get up there and just challenged everything.
So Font makes both free throws, and Spain take the early lead. Corvalán comes up top, hands it off, and the pass, Font steps in front, and just 6 seconds on the shot clock.
It's a worrying sign here for Argentina, because at the moment they're not really making the bigs for Spain really play defense. They're almost being intimidated. It does make your defense look much more impressive.
Rejection block out on the perimeter by Spain's number 15, Rosa. Ignacio Rosa gets his first rejection. And Spain trying to set the tone inside. Now Lema hands it off. Baule. And number 13 for Argentina, Terminato. So Leandro Terminato puts Argentina in front.
That was a nice looking stroke, wasn't it? Great high release. You know, got it away quickly. Good ball movement by Argentina, like forcing the defense to collapse a little.
Figueras, and the block, the illegal block, called on Ejigidor.
Well, I'll repeat the same thing. You know, referees are really trying to clean up that, you know, the screening part of the game. Good defense by Argentina. Really didn't allow the screen to get a good angle.
Oh, what a play, what a drive, and it's good. Corbalan gets his first two of the game, and Argentina now looking more confident. Figueras probes, dribbles between his legs. And over to a wide open Villa. Eric Villa missed, and then quickly Argentina push it up the floor, and Lema follows up his own miss, and then he is fouled from behind. And it looks like it might be number 2 on the Higuedor.
Yeah, he's going to have to sit. That changes the whole complexion of the, you know, the defensive structure, because it doesn't matter how big, you don't have that athleticism coming off the bench to challenge shots.
So Banaclocha is going to have to come into the game for Spain earlier than anticipated. Just 3 minutes into the contest, Higuedor has to take a seat. So what must Luis Gil be thinking now?
The interesting thing for him, I think more worrying, is down at the offensive end, where his team have looked very, very passive after the couple of steals and the chance to run in the half court. Looks very passive, and Argentina up the floor now.
Here's Argentina looking good, having started this competition with a loss to France. And they had to really pull out all stops to beat both New Zealand and Egypt. And it's perhaps similar in a way to Italy having to grind out some results.
And the 11-point loss, whatever it was, to France. France are a very talented group. And, you know, first game in the tournament, everyone's going to be a little bit, you know, lacking of understanding perhaps.
Well, impressive move inside from Banaclocha.
That was great, wasn't it? Great footwork. Then they had the real composure to go off the glass. So both teams, good signs for both teams early.
Baule drives in and draws the foul. Gets bumped right in the lane.
That's again another penetration that the Argentinians have made down the middle, like right to the, you know, the heart, the gut of the Spanish defense. He's going right down the middle, which is a great angle for them and a poor one for Spain. They've got a troubling rotation out of that, and Argentina are getting a lot of productivity out of that drive lane at the moment.
Argentina now up 8-4. And the turnover, and then can't control it. The ball goes out of bounds, but good hustle. So Font brings it up for Spain. Shaky start for Spain. And Argentina trying to dictate tempo perhaps. And foul called on Argentina.
You know, already it's clear both coaches run a lot of nice things in the half court, but Spain just cleared out high. They had the little double stack at the top. It just gave the whole low post area completely free to play.
Well, they're crashing the board. Spain getting it back. Villa, ball goes out of bounds. It'll still be Spain ball. Inside, powering his way up. And Rosa unsuccessful. Argentina looking to pad to their lead. And a foul off the ball. Oh no, it was a foul on the ball. So 2 free throws. Oh yeah, definitely got him on the right wrist.
Yep. I think coach is claiming that there's inconsistency, should we say, down the other end. But I would say at the moment, I think the referees are right on it. It's clearly a foul on the wrist. I haven't seen anything down the other end to suggest an issue.
Missed opportunities. Good rebound by Argentina's number 7, Corvalán. Now Ballet drives in, beautiful pass. And the big fella wasn't ready. Cafarro. Rosa wide open, and Lema with the rebound. Oh, beautiful bounce pass, but they're going to call the charge on Lema.
Both teams very similar. The style is very similar. Where they're trying to get the ball to is very similar. This game is really going to come down to who executes the best, because the little mistakes like that or little turnovers like that will become decisive as this game wears on. But Argentina coming out of a very almost European style, which is not surprising in any way, shape or form. But and for me, at the moment, Spain are a little bit pedestrian in the half court. There's not a lot of sharpness to what they're running, so the Argentinian defense is able to really contain it. It's just got to pick up a pace.
Yep, Vila getting bumped, and the foul called on Ballet.
But even on that play, it was very, very slow. The defense is able to bump it to get it to like the foul line, and Ballet really had no reason to foul. And we're halfway through the quarter, both teams in the penalty, so there's going to be a lot of free throws if this carries on the way it is. But Spain's tempo just needs to pick up, because they're not creating much advantage in what they're running.
Doesn't look like, though, with the team they have out there, that it's a team that's going to want to run.
No.
With Vila, Rosa, and also the big fella, Vanaclocha. And now maybe this is more of a running team. Font, Figueras.
See, Spain haven't lost the game. They're already averaging 72 points. And yeah, they're not going to outrun you.
They'll pass it into the corner. Ballet again, traveling.
And this definitely looks like one of those games where both coaches have said, right, this is what they run, this is how we're going to defend it. And now it's...
So Ballet's going to check out after that travel call.
And then it just comes down to who's going to make an adjustment, who's going to get a next read, who's going to read that way of playing the defense and come up with a good decision, because both teams look well scouted. That's an understatement.
Chiarini, number 16, is checked in. He's on the ball now. And a little bit of a Euro step there. Also coming in for Argentina, number 8, Solanas, Matthias Solanas. Now Corvalán, it's been relatively quiet. Passes out to the perimeter. And that ball bounced up on top of the backboard. So Spain with a chance to tie it or take the lead. And Argentina trying to get a travel call. Vila, meanwhile, takes it, soft shot. He looks pretty good when he gets his hands on the ball.
Yeah. Oof.
And good penetration there from Corvalán. Figueras thinking that he was fouled.
Well, Hierro's got hung out to dry by his teammates because no one gave him a word that there was a screen. He just he ran into a wall. It was a great screen. He was already on the floor in the background. And Corvalan could be, because Corvalan seems to have that little bit of X factor, if that's the right word. And the majority, everything's going to go through him. And the number of times now where he has penetrated and created an open shot, regardless of what they're running, it's going to take that type of performance, I think, to break the game open for either team. But Corvalan at the moment looks impressive.
He makes both. So the phone has it. And the drive and the basket, and that was good from number 14, Molins, Paul Molins.
If you do start to go for a cheap steal, which is what they did Argentina then, it just opens up the drive.
Corvalan, nice soft touch. And another long one, and Paul Molins has come right in off the bench and made a couple of shots.
Well, you always want impact off the bench, and he's doubled the score on his own.
So Spain back in front. And flying in, crashing the boards, and Terminato's going to be rewarded. So he draws the foul. Berra Fernandez as well is in the game for Argentina. So Terminato's put Argentina in front. So Chiarini, Matteo Chiarini, number 16, guarding Figueras. Now here's Molins. He's shown signs of being explosive here. Passes out in the corner, Vila for three. And the rebound, quick outlet pass. Chiarini has it. Chiarini probes. Puts up a three, and the long rebound. And Luis Gil,
no way the ball hit the ring. Therefore, pretty much should be a violation, I think. It's going to be pretty close to being a violation.
So Luis Gil is arguing this should be Spain ball right now. Quite rightly. And it's ball has to touch the rim on the shot.
We're going to give 7. They're going to reset it to 7.
I think they can they not look at the replay? Sagerman's perhaps thinking his team's caught a break here. So Argentina will indeed inbound it with 7 seconds on the shot clock. Luis Gil coaching in the corner now. And a three-pointer is no good. Perhaps justice prevailing there a little bit from Andreada. Esteban has the ball in his hands. He's come off the bench. Maxime Esteban. Now Molins. Esteban, he was bumped. He was pushed by Solanas.
Molins, more than anything else since he's entered the game, has become like much more of a threat, more aggressive even on the dribble. He hasn't just dribbled it to change an angle. He's been actually forcing the defense to guard him, which creates that little half a step advantage for his teammate.
So the contest knotted now at 13. The Spain players obviously hoping to be that next generation that brings greatness perhaps to their country. They're Spain number 2 in the world rankings behind the USA, Nike FIBA world rankings. And Corvalan, a little bit of a mismatch. It brings a little bit of rain, but misses everything. So Corvalan is going to come out of the game and be replaced by Lopez, Lautaro Lopez.
Be interesting to see because at the moment, every time down the floor, Corvalan has to have a touch. He's bringing it down. It'd be interesting to see if things get a little quicker and they still manage to be productive. Because both teams are very, very half-court orientated at the moment.
Well, that ball comes right over to us. Solanas picks it up. Much more of a cagey encounter, this one, than the last one.
Yeah.
It's like a chess match. Filling each other out. Solanas. Lopez, just in the game. He's gonna lose it. And now Spain off and running. And nice pass. And great pass that time from Tomaic, Joshua Tomaic. And Vila was fouled as he went up for the layup.
Tomaic is at university in the US, which is a little bit of a, it's not the normal route for Spanish youngsters, is it? At the end of the day, there's a number of Spanish women that have gone that route, but largely they keep him inside the system. But he looks a good athlete, and he led the break really well, made the nice timing on the pass. And so he's got a good skill set, you know, for a 206 small forward. He has all the attributes that he needs.
Yeah, you talk about 10 of their 12 players are actually with clubs in Spain. Tomaic and Vila. Vila's playing at Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Tomaic is at Maryland, plays for the Terps. Molins hits the three.
Wow.
And it shows a little bit of that emotion.
Molins, maybe they want the impact off the bench because he's looked very, very good since he's entered the game.
Spain now up by 5, and with Argentina trying to take the last shot, they throw it out of bounds and they give it back to Spain.
Well, that's the worry about the lack of Corvalan in the game, because everyone was looking to run something as opposed to be a threat. So everything's in front of Spain. They have to make a tough pass to turn it over.
The winner to face Italy in the semifinals, and right now, led by Molins, Spain have taken the lead. They got the bit between the teeth. 5 seconds, 4, 3, passes over to Esteban. And off the back of the iron, but I think Spain will take it. They're leading it by 5 after 1.
Well, you described it as a cagey affair, and that's definitely what it was. And those stats just tell you it's a cagey affair, but Spain, nice finish to the heart, they pulled it. So yeah, you get the trainer there for the Basketball World Cup and qualifiers during the season. I mean, that's a great development of letting every home crowd see their own guys play at home 2 or 3 occasions during the year. It can be a great focus. You know, you're going to get in certain situations because of availability. You're going to get some of these young guys making their debut in those World Cup qualifiers. There's going to be some guys who are that far advanced that if there are NBA guys not available, these are some of the guys that got a shot at making those teams. I do like the way that Molins, I mean, you mentioned it a lot. You know, he came into the game, Paul Molins, like from Badalona, he's come in the game and given so much energy, so much threat, and it's what Argentina lost when Carvalhal sat down. They lost that sort of threat where whoever had the ball, because Moyes was attacking every opportunity he had, which, as I say, creates opportunities for everybody else. Not surprisingly, Molins is going to retain his spot on the floor, because at the moment he's the difference maker in all sorts of departments.
Well, Esteban has it.
Well, Spain, for the first time, you ignore trying to run anything high and then just run something down low to try and create opportunities. So both coaches looking for some options that are going to be productive. Little block-to-block screen without help is always tough to defend. A lot of holding going on, Jeff. There's a lot of hands on people. Easy calls for officials when you see that.
Well, things not going the way for Argentina right now. And a three-point attempt from Rosa. So Lopez brings it back for Argentina, who right now are on the wrong end of a 7-0 run. They pass it into the corner, and it's Font with the rebound. Molins. And Chiarini with the rebound. Lopez gets inside, puts it up off the glass. Impressive move.
That's a tough finish here. The help came, but he still managed to manufacture that shot. They needed those as well. That's a long time without a score for Argentina.
Font comes from the baseline, and he was traveling. Thought they're going to call the foul on Solanas. Just heard the referee talking to Solanas. Corvalán back in. Lopez again. Oh, it finds his way in. Boy, what a burst. What a burst from the bench. Lopez, consecutive trips down the floor.
That second step really did slash through any help.
Now Vila. Oh, did he call the glass? I'm not sure. Number 10 for Spain, Victor Moreno.
Right, as the Bank of Egypt advertising hoarding came up, it was definitely open for him.
And now the turnover goes back. The foul called. Corvalán. He now has 2 fouls. Moreno hands it off to Molins. And another foul push.
Well, that puts Argentina straight into the penalty after 2 minutes of this quarter. And if Spain will just keep executing and executing and executing, and Argentina will not be able to get after it, this is going to give them an issue.
Moreno for 3, rattles out. Solanas off to Lopez, who's been good with the penetration. Keeps the dribble alive. Andreetta. No look inside to Solanas. Lopez for 3, good! Boy, he can also shoot it from outside.
Well, Lopez is doing for Argentina what Monas did for Spain. They've come in and they've been much more aggressive. That was great ball movement, though, again, by Argentina.
Well, he came in averaging 6.5 points per game, and he's already got 7.
I think Molins might need to take a little time on the bench.
Solanas hits the 3, and just like that, Argentina back in front. What a turnaround. And we saw this with Argentina in their last game as well, going back and forth with Egypt. And Tomic kind of not able to control it as he got into the paint. So this second quarter is, despite the foul problems for Argentina, they've got 14 fouls. They've been able to come back and take the lead. They lead at 23-21.
Well, Spain came out, hit the 3, and then haven't scored subsequently. You know, the bank shot's the only thing they've made in 4 minutes. And again, it's that period where both teams get into a half court where the defense is in control. And it's only like the quick change of pace against the long closeout. You've seen both teams have guys come off the bench who've been being more aggressive. It's still gets very slow, really, and it makes the defense able to control, makes you take tough shots. You don't create any advantage by moving the ball quickly.
Now, Mark, when you want information about this tournament, where do you go?
You go to the website, Jeff.
Now, I'm going to tell you what that website address is. What you need to do is go to U19worldcup.basketball. And of course, FIBA's domain now is FIBA, FIBA.basketball.
Yep.
So if you want more information about this, go to U19 Under-19 worldcup.basketball, and you can also follow the live blog there. It's the way of the world these days. You got to know these things.
Social media.
Absolutely. The reach from Figueras, and the foul. And you know, one thing, I'm not sure if you mentioned this, but with Argentina, you know, they weren't even supposed to be at this competition. They only came because of a suspension meted out by FIBA on Brazil. And Lopez takes another 3, and he is as hot as a tamale. He's as hot as a firecracker.
He's single-handedly taking them from, what, 5 down to 5 up. He's just been, as you say, on fire. And as we saw, Argentina started to struggle. Someone now's got to break the rhythm for Spain because they're now struggling. It's very much a game of runs. It always is, but this guy at the moment, like, he's in a different place. He's in his own world. No, he's on a completely different floor to everybody else.
Well, he's got it in his hands now. He gets inside again, and this time didn't finish.
That's probably the easiest one he's had to make, and he blew it.
And the foul appears to be on Santiago Bruera.
And, you know, we've mentioned it already a couple of times, the way the referees are trying to clean up the screen. They're doing it both ways. They do not let the defense manhandle screens. It's not so much as a battle anymore, which has got to be good for the game. So it's good, you know, you can see that emphasis, and you love the fact that it's consistent across whichever referee and team is on the floor. And Spain really needed the throws. They really needed to tick it over.
You know, Mark, just to drive home, you really never know how these players are going to develop, do you? Because for Spain, back in 1999, at the World Championship for junior men, there was a tall, skinny, big-eared player by the name of Pau Gasol who averaged 5 points, 3 rebounds per game. Oh, nice shot again from Solanas for Argentina. So another 3 for them. some of these players might be late bloomers.
Oh,
is what I was
especially
gonna say.
bigs. You know, especially the guys that are still growing out of bounds.
And Moreno stepped out of bounds. Yep. So that turns it right back over. And if we've seen anything really from Argentina already in this game, it's their mental toughness, because they were out of sync, starting to slip, and yet they've come back.
And I keep mentioning it as well. They're doing a lot of this without Carvalho on the floor, because he stepped off the floor again. And he's able to do that because Lopez has just stepped up.
Yeah, Lopez has it. Puts up a jumper, and now he's missed a couple. And the steal, Solanas puts it up, but a little bit out of control. Whistled for the charge. Good job by the Spain big man, Tomic.
Yeah, for a young guy, Tomic is going to be, oh, now I turned it over. And instead of trying to go for a block, whatever, he just says, hey, this is what I'm supposed to do. And you've got to credit that, especially young guys doing that, because the temptation of, I'm going to block this, I'm going to make up for my mistake. But Spain have definitely been taking out their great momentum. And Lopez's points has just literally changed the whole face of the game. And again, those fouls are going to, you know, it's a 5-1, it's a 6-1 foul count now, and Tomic is going to go to the free throw line.
And he makes the first one. Well, Tomic came into this contest having played about 18 minutes per game. And he goes 1 of 2. And the big man, Bruera, gets the rebound. And Bruera only plays about 7.5 minutes, so he's trying to bring something to the team in his limited minutes. Now Corbalan. Finds his way in, but kind of forced it up. Now Figueras. And the turnover, and Lopez fouled. Boy, it just happens to be around everything good happening for the South Americans.
Spain are now looking like who's going to take a shot, because Figueras was open. He tried to pass up. They were open in the corner. He passed it up. They overpassed it. They ended up with a turnover.
Valle spins in the game, number 11. He's guarding Chiarini. Now it's Corbalan, and again he puts it up. He's not really having much success right now. And Figueras gets it to Vila, and look at Lopez, almost forcing another turnover.
Oh, Lopez has been...
He's the player of the game for Argentina.
Absolutely everywhere.
Good hands from Argentina. There'll be 9 on the shot clock.
And Santiago Voley, like for Argentina, is just looking for shots now. He's trying to create his own, and Lopez, the difference, when Lopez has had an advantage, he's gone and taken it. He didn't have to create the advantage, he's created for him and he's taken it. And Vele's missed his last couple where he's had to full shots.
Font gets it to Tomic, and Bruera, or excuse me, Vera Fernandez.
It's a hard, that's such a tough play to defend with the 2 screens, because you end up on the wrong side. And the only way to deal with it, unfortunately, is that. And Spain at the moment, the only place they're actually ticking this over from is the free throw line.
And meanwhile, Tomic has done a good job. He's getting some opportunities. He's got 5 points now. Lopez has it.
Well, we always thought this was going to be close, but both teams are just counteracting each other. Yeah, this penetration, you don't want to foul like that. That's just lazy defense. You got him going the way you want him to go, and then you just try and do that.
Whoa. And Molins was hustling back, but he couldn't control himself, and Corvalán kind of invited the contact, and now it's picked up the foul on Molins. Well, Molins was able to turn things around in the first quarter. And now he's back in there. See if he brings a sense of urgency back to Spain. So Lopez has it. And the drive from Lema denied. He gets it back. Tries to pass it out, but the quick hands from Spain's Vallespin gets him the steal. Now Molins. Tomic gives it back to him. Font for three. Short. Well, look at Lopez go behind the back. Over to Chiarini, who misses from long range. And the man raising his hand, Lopez, is even with he does some of the little things spectacularly.
Well, Lopez, as well, his points have been so important, but since Corvalán sat down with his two fouls and things, Lopez has taken that leadership role. You know, he's the guy that's talking now. He's the guy that's trying to create for everyone. He's taken on that role, which I didn't know if Argentina had that, if Corvalán wasn't in the game. And he really has literally led this team in his own way.
Yeah, that shot was good. So Spain claw their way back now, trailing just 29-28 with 1:46 to go in the first half. Argentina want to talk about how they're going to approach things.
And Spain, it just shows how important like fouls and free throws are. Spain struggling, 14 from 16 from the line has kept them going because they've really struggled to create very good looks. And but they've got to make those throws, as we saw in the last game. And,
yeah, Lithuania lost to Italy.
Yeah.
I think they were
20 from 40, something crazy.
23 or 46 or
something
20.
like that. And but Spain at the moment, they're toughing it out. They're down one. When they come back, they'll be shooting the throws, but their offense is stuttering.
Yeah, it seems a bit stagnant. Yeah. Why are they're not able to pass it around, move it around as well as they should?
It's like, whereas Lopez and Corvalán for Argentina give you someone who can beat their man and then everyone's scrambling to help, Spain don't appear to have someone who's going to beat their man in a way that's going to create. So they're relying on sets, and as well as their running sets and everything else. You know that Argentina has spent the whole, whatever it is, 48 hours between their last game and this game getting ready to try and beat Spain. They'll know their sets as well as Spain will.
Well, Lopez has it. Lema hands it off, and Higuedor picks up another one.
Yeah, and Higuedor's just come back in the game. So the calculation gamble, if that's the right word, to bring him back with that minute and a half to go doesn't appear to pay off at all because he gets with his arms all over someone.
He lasts all of 1 second.
Literally.
So three fouls on the Spain big man. And that brings Banaclocha back into the contest. But Bruera not able to capitalize.
And Banaclocha may not be the athlete, but he did well when he came in the first time for him. So
Bruera makes one of two. Well, very even contest. Three-point attempt is good from Mr. Molins, Senor Molins.
Well, Molins was always going to shoot it, wasn't he? Once they stepped off with like deep on the shot clock, no one had a hand up.
He's got 10 points.
Well,
Lopez open. And Lopez has kind of cooled off a little. Font. Spain back in front. Final minute of the first half. Font puts up another three. Lopez brings it down with two hands. And traveling the call on Lema. So Spain will have a chance really to hold it for one shot.
It really is the Molins and Lopez show, isn't it? 10 points apiece. They're both doing other things to generate like energy with the group. They're definitely sparking their lineup, and that's just like the games with those guys, and they've got a 1-point game. But both teams, when they get in the half court, look like they are really struggling to create out of what they're running. And that's where Lopez has been a key factor, and Molins has been a key factor. They've got the ability to beat their man and create for themselves and for their teammate. I wouldn't be surprised, Jeff, if at some point one of these teams is going to throw either maybe a zone in or something just to try and generate something, maybe trap, just to see if they can pick up a couple of quick, easy ones, because it's going to be such a close game. You can get like a quick steal, that could be the difference. And both coaches are experienced enough that they'll know when to feel it, when not to feel it. It'd be interesting to see what Argentina come out with after that with 24 to go. They might throw something a little here in terms of a trap, or at least a little bit of token pressure just to take some time out of Spain's offense.
So 24.1 seconds remaining, and a little bit of full court pressure here. Spain get it to Tomic. Terminato is on Tomic. And now up top, Molins and Lopez, the two stars of the game so far. And Molins works his way free, and he scores. Look, Chiarini, excuse me, it was Chiarini that was on him. And he misses from long range. So perhaps a better finish for Spain. They lead it 33-30 at halftime, and Molins is the man of the hour.
Well, both teams, 28% and 38%. You're not going to write home about them. And everything else is going to be pretty even, because the game is that type of game. You described it as a chess match, it pretty much is. Someone makes a play, someone counters. It will come down, I think, to, can one of these teams create something with their defense? Otherwise, it's going to be like two old heavyweights in the middle of the ring, just battering each other to see who can get the who's going to be the last man standing. But you've got to love the way that Lopez, in the moment where they sat Corvalan down, just took over. And that's hard. Some kids want to do it because they like to be that guy, but to do it in the way he did, no crazy decisions. And then Molins really did give that lift to Spain. Summed up by the play at the end. Got to the keyway, got a shot he wanted. Little one. How many times have you seen a Spanish guard get to just under the foul line and just do a little teardrop up there? It's not as if he's making up a great play. He knows he can get that shot.
Well, Molins he's got 12 points. He's 5 of 8 from the floor. Spain 14 of 16 at the free throw line. That's a very important stat. Argentina 7 of 12 at the stripe themselves. And Spain struggling a bit from three-point range, just 3 of 12, whereas Argentina are 5 of 16. Both teams with 9 turnovers. So we're at halftime. It's Spain on top 33-30 over Argentina. The winner to face Italy in the semifinals.
Lopez for Argentina, Molins for Spain. Molins is 13. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's 13. I think it is. I'm not sure what the numbers are. Yeah, I haven't seen the play actually. So, absolutely. Can you just bring me mine, please?
It's okay. Well, 33-30, Spain on top of Argentina. They have not really been at their best. Neither of these teams really offensively. Perhaps Spain a little bit out of sync, but what they've been able to do is rely on Paul Molins coming off the bench and giving them some offense. And without him, they'd be in a little bit of trouble. But
well, he's the only one who looks like he wants to score. I mean, there was one or two possessions where guys are passing up open looks. And yeah, you've got to share the ball, but if it's your turn, if you're open, especially on a team like Spain where there isn't really a standout scorer, you've got to take the open look. And Argentina came up with 2 steals just based on that. Argentina deal with the same problem with Lopez and deal with the same problem because they are Carvalhan. So, and the other worry for Spain though is the foul trouble that Iquitor is in. I mean, at the beginning of the game with his 2 big blocks, you're like,
he's been a non-factor.
Yeah, he's like, hey, this guy's going to be really important. Then he gets 2 fouls, then he comes back just before the half. I'm not sure why. I'm sure that if Coach Gill could make that decision again, he would not put him back in. But that's just crazy. You know, you're back in the game, you want to do well, and he leaves his arm hanging there. And where I think Spain maybe thought that was going to be an area where they could really dominate. They haven't been able to. And more importantly for us and anyone watching the game, this is going to stay close the whole way. There's going to be tension, it's going to get close, and someone's going to make a big play. Either defensively or offensively, they've got to find ways to get the right people the ball. But I don't see either team getting blown out here because the team's really made anything happen. 2 well-matched boxers looking to, well, almost just stop the other guy hurting them too much. It's almost like that.
Well, it could be one that comes right down to the wire, which will be okay with me. So Figueras, Vila, Molins, Tomic, and the big man starting for Spain, Vanaclocha. It's Ballet, Corvalan, and it's going to be number 13 launching one and missing, Terminato, Lema, and also Cafaro, all in that starting lineup here the second half for Argentina. And Corvalan simply can't get it to fall. Figueras. Figueras drives in, misses the layup. And Ballet puts up a shot a little bit out of control. Now Vila has decided to go all the way, and he misses, gets it back, and puts up the layup.
What were we saying at halftime? We didn't think this would really get out of hand up and down the floor. We haven't actually caught our breath for a minute and 4 seconds. Neither team's done until that has taken a great shot, but all of a sudden it becomes like a run up and down game. That's you know, we talked about what differences and changes they would make. Spain are really like collapsing in here. It's almost matchup zone time.
Well, Lema misses from long range. And Spain in a familiar position to the first half where they seemed to start getting on top. Weren't able to really step on the accelerator, and now, you know, Argentina get a hand on that ball. They're not able to get the steal.
You know, and that sums it up. They've just come off of a stop. They're coming down the floor, and they're almost throwing the ball away. They're almost like getting into a scenario where, hey, if we push, you know, they just get in the half court and not really moving. And the ball doesn't really swing from side to side very well, which is really unusual for a Spanish team. Normally, their ball movement is exemplary. They go down one side and try and really force it down there.
Well, Molins Misses on that one. He didn't miss too much in the first half. And Terminato misses another time here in the second half. So Argentina is struggling to put the ball in the basket.
Lopez time. Call for Lopez off that bench.
Tomites for three. And now in the transition. And Corvalan took the foul from Molins.
It's like, Jeff, there's, you know, Paul Figueres comes off that pick and roll. And if you're only going to pass off that pick and roll, you don't have to defend it. They go underneath it. Wherever he passes it, they're looking to recover to it. I'm sure he's got the ability to pull up and shoot the ball off that pick if they go underneath.
Corvalan, his pass well read by Figueres. Figueres gets it over to Molins. And the pass to Tomites, and he draws the foul from Ballet.
Transition basketball from Spain. It's all of a sudden they're running out of this little matchup, sagging man-to-man matchup zone. Like they're getting turnovers, and they're all getting going. So, but you said we've been here before in this game.
Yeah, you don't feel like
it's blowing.
They're not sharp enough to build a substantial lead.
And sooner or later, Argentina will drop a couple of those like decent looking open shots. Then all of a sudden they're back in the game.
Well, Lopez played a lot of minutes in that first half. He hasn't started here in the second. His coach, he's going to come in right now.
Right now.
So he's going to come in for Ballet.
Ballet's been struggling to score, so all of a sudden now they've probably got their most expensive backcourt. Because the Corvalan can like slip to the two. They become quite a potent backcourt now.
Corvalan bumped by Figueres.
The worry in that last offense, even though it's the first time he's come back into the game, Lopez, is with Corvalan out of the game. When he gets it after a ball reversal, Lopez looks to threaten. This time he just got it and passed it to Corvalan, who seems to, you know, the deal here is that he gets to touch it.
Well, he's got it now. He's going to put it up, and he's going to be short, but he's going to follow. And now he's going to get rejected, but he gets it back. Lema passes to Lopez. Corvalan for three. And a foul called on Spain.
And this is one of those possessions where Corvalan again trying to force it. He's going to get an open look though.
And another block. And Argentina finally get one to fall down. Molins gets it inside to Vila. He draws the foul. He will go to the line. See the replay?
We've got no picture.
So Vila's at the free throw line.
This is, you know, like this is one of those moments where if Spain are a genuine contender here, this is where they would assert and make it very difficult for Argentina. But they're coming down the floor. They don't look to assert defensively. They've given Argentina 3 looks at the last offensive end. That's not like a team that's really going to challenge.
Vila struggles, misses both, but Spain pressured, and the ball goes out of bounds. And almost a turnover, but Spain get it. They put it up, they fight, and the big man, as you said, Bernat Vanaclocha, was able to stay after it. Lopez for three. Oh, rattles out. And the ball falls kindly to Argentina. Terminato, and he draws the foul.
Personal foul on player number 13, Spain.
With a chance to open the game out, Argentina are back at the free throw line, and again, it's one of those. Because after this, Spain are going to go to a semi-final if they win, or Argentina, they're going to play Italy. And you know that Italy are relentless, and so Spain have to find a way. They're not going to have permanent runs, but they can't have the up and then the big down. You've got to have an up and then a consistent level, and they're struggling with that. Because I think they're struggling to know where they go to consistently and who's going to take which shot they want. And for a team that's very half-court orientated, they've got to know that, because they've got to know where they want to go.
Well, Cafaro got tied up with Bernat Vanaclocha, and now the referee is telling both of them to let's be good sports here. Font, Molins, alley-oop, pass, and the slam dunk from Vila. And that was a play designed to perfection, and they have just called a technical foul on Luis Gil because he had 1 foot on the court. Or maybe both feet were on the court. I mean, surely, unless he was warned already, surely that's just a warning. So that's a break for Argentina.
Oh, it's a massive.
But to be fair, maybe
so they don't
justice
lose out.
prevails.
Yeah. You would think so.
Although he doesn't want to get another technical.
No.
And Lopez, nice penetration, and gets it to Cafaro, and just about gets it to go down. He needs to go up and dunk that.
And they just don't, they won't go away with the Argentina. You said it in the first half. They're going to hang in. Spain have got to put them away.
Look at that alley-oop pass from Molins to Vila. And now the reach, and it was the Corvalan forced the turnover, and now Argentina have it again, trailing by 5.
And this is it. The little alley-oop, a little bit of emotion. The game is picked up in terms of its intensity level. And Lopez is right at the center of it again. He's on the free throw line. This will take him on to 12 if he makes both. Be the leading scorer, or joint leading scorer in the game.
Corvalan hasn't really gotten it going offensively, but he's doing some little things out there that are helping Argentina. Molins open on the baseline, and the rebound from Terminato. Now Lopez goes behind his back, and Cafaro just awful pass. And then the drive from Molins, and he's as good as he was in the first half. Molins can't get it to go now, but
you still like the fact he's being the guy that's being aggressive, trying to be here, breaking his guy down. Now he's got to make that, but look at the foul away from the basketball. Because the defense has to react to that, you get offensive opportunity on the glass.
Substitution.
Solanas is going to enter the game for Lema. Lema barks at the referee who made that call. It's just a 3-point game.
And for me, it almost doesn't feel like it feels like Spain. Every time you take a breath, you go, oh, you think Spain are controlling the game, but Argentina just keep hanging around, making plays.
Oh, breakdown from Argentina, inbounds pass, layup for Vila. 11 points now for Vila. Terminato, front and back of the rim. Alley-oop pass again, and this time the tap over. Molins has it. And it's going to be Font, and he misses on the baseline.
Again, you got to think, why didn't Vila take that shot? He's just made one.
Looks like pretty good defense there, but Lopez, being aggressive once again, finds his way to the line.
And both teams are in that scenario now where, because of the way the defenses are constructed, someone has to be aggressive. Otherwise, it's always in front of the defense. Everyone's trying to make tough shots.
And now Lopez misses the first. Second one is good. Vallespin into the game now, number 11 for Spain. And now the drive is switched off. It said timing out, so it switched off, and then somebody came and turned it on. Yeah.
Out of bounds on Argentina.
Molins inbounds it. Tomic. Molins open. It's good. Well, he keeps putting them up. It's like you say, he's still being aggressive. Lead goes back to 6.
And he's the only guy they have that really looks like he wants to score for him, you know, to help the team, but he wants to be that, he thinks there are options for him.
And now Solanas, and boy, Argentina, how many times have we seen the ball go inside the ring and come out? Vallespin, and now an illegal screen.
He just rolled him through and took him out on the roll, but this is where I think sometimes they get it. Yeah, you don't get a great angle on it, but it looked like he hipped him.
Timeout for Argentina.
Argentina called timeout.
It's that key moment, isn't it? It's like Spain 5, 6, 7 points up, Argentina drag them to threes. Either Argentina are going to get back in it, or Spain are going to break it open, or we're going to be sitting here with 2 minutes to go and it's going to be Spain by 5. It has that type of feel about it. It's no deep, because Argentina look like the only way they're going to break it open is to knock down some of these threes. Spain are creating opportunities, but then almost take the foot off the pedal.
Lopez with 13, Molins with 14. And we also saw the spectacular alley-oop pass to Vila. He's got 11 points. Hasn't shot the ball particularly well, Vila. He's 4 of 12 after those last 2 makes. Before those last 2 makes, he was just 2 of 10.
See, like this Spanish team doesn't have big time scorers as such. Only 2 guys are sort of in double digits, and Vila's one of those. But he really has struggled in terms of consistency.
Corvalan. Now Lopez, he's going to go right in, and he is drawing the foul. So once again, Lopez. How many times are we going to say it?
And that was better for me in the sense that he didn't just look to give it to Corvalan. Spain got into all sorts of issues with who they switched onto. And then everyone's looking around, and Lopez said, why are we looking around? I've got a mismatch. I'm going to take it at the defense. And he really is.
That is 4 fouls, by the way, on Molins.
Which is a huge call. Because there's not, whereas Argentina have the 2, Spain really at the moment only have the 1 guy that's being that aggressive.
So who's going to step up now for Spain? Figueras back in. And Lopez doesn't pull the string. So back to a 5-point deficit. Valle spin. Back to Villa. If I'm Argentina, I give him the shot.
But there's your answer about who's going to step up, because
It's going to be Villa.
Villa put his head down and just went at it. And you know, that's a great sign for Spain, that he wasn't just going to settle, he really attacked it.
Lopez for 3, short. Ball comes back to him. Corvalán again goes in and out inside the ring. And now Spain looking to extend the advantage.
Personal foul, player number 1, Argentina. Substitution for Argentina,
But Cafaro only 17 years of age. He goes out. You know, obviously he's still developing. Hasn't made that much impact on the game. Doesn't play that many minutes, to be honest, but he does start. Now, Figueras. So Cafaro's out of the game. And back in is Andreara. Excuse me, Vera Fernandez. And good defense, forces the travel from Tomites.
Substitution for Argentina, player number 16 and player number 7.
Argentina in need of something. Nice move in the post, but again, the ball just will not fall for Vera Fernandez.
They've had so many good looks, so many decent shots.
Ball's just not falling.
They're going to go under the screen all the time on Figueras. He's not looking to threaten at all.
Valle spin. Excuse me. Yeah, Valle spin, puts it up and draws the foul. Well, look who's back. Higuedor. He's got the 3 fouls.
He's coming back with a minute to go in the third. Now, obviously the hope is he gets into the flow of it, gets the quarter break, and he's ready to go for the 4th quarter. They look a completely different team when he steps on the floor. All of a sudden they have inside presence.
And Valle spin is able to get 1 of 2. And now Spain up by 8. That's their biggest lead of the game. Lopez drives right at Higuedor, and Higuedor just puts those big arms and hands up there and brings the ball down. Valle spin. Villa pass, knocked away, and shot clock violation.
Well, just when I thought that Villa was going to be the guy that was going to try and take over, he's on the foul line, he's going up, there's no time on the shot clock, and he's looking to pass it off. That's not the guy who's taking over the responsibility.
Solanos puts it up, and an offensive foul.
Personal foul, player number 15.
Yeah, officials get such a hard time when they're inconsistent. These guys have been very, very consistent on those screens when they move, whether it's on ball or off ball screens. it's back to the good old days that you're supposed to stand still on the screen and your teammate is supposed to run off. You're not supposed to be taking people out. And it was becoming a little bit ridiculous the way that there was so much movement allowed.
Well, difficult times for Argentina, trailing by 8. Figueras brings it up the floor, trying to put some pressure on him here. Spain hoping to get the last possession. Lopez on him. Now Figueras off to Font, wide open, and that is how it finishes. So Spain will settle for an 8-point lead at the end of 3 quarters. See, both teams struggling shooting the ball, but especially Argentina. 25% inside the arc, 20% from the arc. Well, Argentina had 30 points at halftime. They had just 10 in the 3rd quarter. And Spain have been able to open up an 8-point cushion. Is that enough? Well, the way Argentina is struggling, it just seems like how many times has the ball gone in and out?
And that's why it's not enough, because they've had good shots. They just haven't dropped those shots. Now, you would expect Spain to be at least into a double-digit advantage on the basis of that. Scoring 10 points and still only up by 8. Argentina, as we found out in this tournament, can tough out those games. They don't mind what, they've come up with big wins in tough situations. So someone else is going to have to score in addition to Lopez. And at the moment, Corvalan's having a very, very quiet game for him. So only one guy in double digits for Argentina. Spain is starting to get it going a little bit with the 2 guys. And Vila, he might be the guy that really does have to pace Spain over the 4th quarter.
You know, Corvalan and Ballet, 2 big guns, they are combined 2 of 14 from the floor.
And they haven't been tough shots. They've been pretty open.
Yeah. So 4th quarter action underway here. Spain and Argentina. The winner will face Italy in the semifinals of the FIBA Under-19 Basketball World Cup.
We just didn't turn the music off.
Wow.
Or maybe the official didn't like the song. It's more like, it's a rubbish song. Change the song. On top of everything else now, officials have to be disc jockeys as well. There's no end to their talent.
Well, here goes Figueras, gets it inside. Vila drives in and again puts it above the glass and in. So he's really picking it up a little bit here in the 2nd half. Pretty much everything he gets those is inside.
Yep.
Ballet, biggest lead of the game for Spain, 10 points. Solanas, bounce pass, beautiful play from Argentina.
Again, it's that same penetration that's given Spain all problems. When they allow that middle penetration, they've been very productive. They've got to keep it off the middle. Great recognition to actually drive there, though.
Vila again, this time denied. And it's good defense from Terminato.
That's what Higuaín gives you. It gives you that physical presence, even though he hasn't really got position. Just went after it and grabbed it. Came down with an offensive rebound he had no right to get, really.
So it's better. Lara Fernandez that committed the foul. Font, and again misses. Vila with the rebound, goes up, and Vila kept it alive, and it looked like that might be Spain ball, but it's gone in Argentina's favor. Figueras trying to cause problems for Lopez. Baule, and good hands there from the Spain big man. Ejigador. Now Lema. That wasn't even close. Baule hustles, comes up with the steal. Now Lopez. And a foul called on Spain. So it's kind of a start-stop nature to this whole contest, doesn't it?
And we've got, it sounds like we're giving Paul Figueras a hard time. That penetration there, everyone played the pass. Everybody just saw the penetration. Where's he going to pass? Like, oh, my man, I've got a chance of a steal. And they come up with a turnover. He's really got to think that occasionally he's got to shoot the ball just to keep the defense honest.
If Argentina can knock in a three here, they'd be down by 5. Lopez is going to drive in and get the contact. And is it Ejigador?
I think so. Yep. 4 fouls in pretty much 4 minutes.
Certainly Lopez has a knack for getting to the free throw line.
Gator's played 7 minutes in the game. And at least one of those fouls is just him being a little out of control. And he's been no factor. You know, the last offensive rebound showed you what he can bring to Spain, because without him, they don't have people rebounding outside their own space. And he's just got to learn a way to stay out of foul trouble.
You can't see them beating a team like the USA without him on the court.
It's going to be a tough ask with him on the floor. It's going to be.
Yeah. Well, Esteban catches it, and good read by Solanas.
If they win today, Spain, he would be a huge factor in the game against Italy. If you take him out of the lineup, and Italy have got a load of guys who just play quicker and harder. Without him in the game, it's going to be a very, very tough ask for Spain to beat an Italian team that's on a massive high.
Vila, this time he takes the three and is short, and Luis Gil not enamored with the shot selection there, even though he was open. And again, an opportunity for Argentina, and somehow they came up with the ball. Looked like the ball was going out of bounds, and Ballet just got it on the baseline.
And that's what worries me. You know, this game is a 6-point game, and Spain just keep giving Argentina chances like that. Every loose ball situation, Argentina get it. Every situation where there's a bit of broken play, Argentina come up with something. Spain just have to sharpen all those things up. And now Argentina is just not taking advantage to get back in the game by missing throws.
Well, at least Ballet makes 1. So it's back to a 5-point deficit. Plenty of time, 7:20 remaining. Valle spin, goes behind his back. And Ballet reaches in and commits the foul.
And those situations, to me, they're not aggressive or hard-working defense. That's like a reach at the halfway line where you haven't worked or earned it. And that's just going to come back to haunt them when they get into the into the penalty.
Figueras takes a rare 3 and he hits it.
Where's it been? Where has it been? You know, he's at Barcelona. The guy's not going to be able to not shoot with a guy going under a screen. Just take that option. Big play. Big time to make the first one, though.
Now Ballet, and a charge called against Argentina. Or is it a block? 3 seconds.
So I think they penetrated, kicked it, and they all stayed in. Then they penetrated, and they're still in there. So I'm assuming that's what they're called. I don't think he's signaled a foul.
Yeah, 3 seconds was the call. And looking for an explanation, the Argentina coach. So it was a big three by Figueras, followed by a turnover, the 3-second violation. And now Spain with somewhat of an opportunity here. Now Figueras, will he take another one? He does, off 1 foot. Lopez. Oh, he drives and he gets the bump, and he will go to the line.
Well, you said he's got a knack of being fouled. Watch the second step here, because he takes the first step, gives a little bit of contact, and he goes past Figueras, which means if he stays with the contact, it has to be a foul. You know, it looks a little weak, but it's just great footwork, great way to get past the defender. You hear coaches say all that time, attack the space behind. Well, no one does it any better than this guy.
He's now got 19 points with that free throw.
Now he's demanding his team get up the floor. He's waiting for someone to jump. They're not going to do it, though.
Figueras decides to take it in. Now passes back out. Font over to Vila. And Vila kind of forces up a shot late in the shot clock. Ballet, well, takes the contact, but I think that's a good no call from the ref.
Yeah, totally.
Font drives in and scores with the left hand.
That's the same example of the same stuff. That first step gives you a little contact, and then your second step goes past. This time no foul, but excellent, excellent drive.
Valet just having a nightmare. Just can't get it to go. Here we go. Inside to Berra Fernandez. And that was an impressive little turn and shot. Back to a 5-point game, but now the clock starting to become an issue for Argentina. Trailing by 5. Vila for open 3. Good! He gets that one to go finally. He beats his chest.
And we've been
It's
giving,
his first three that
a hard
he's made.
time. 18 points on the game. The guy's doing a great job. And Molina, since he's been out, Vila has been the guy that's been the focal point. And he's not. He doesn't look like the most natural of scorers. So it's credit to him. He's taking it to the basket strong. Most of the time, he's taking that open 3 when it's there.
I was wondering who he's beating his chest to, and there's like a section of Spanish fans.
There's always that small section of Spanish fans.
There they
no
are.
matter where you are in the world, there's always a small section.
At least a small section.
And always at least a small section. Some people look very familiar every tournament we go to. Maybe they are just fans, as opposed to specific members of a family or whatever.
Well, Lopez has done his bit. He's got 19 points. He's keeping him within striking distance.
On his own, really on his own. He has, what, 20 now? No one else in double digits.
Corvalan's going to come back into the game. And the coach is desperately hoping Corvalan can kind of start to take over as well for Argentina. Now, into the game, number 5 is Sans for Spain, bringing it up the floor, draws the foul.
Personal foul on player number 10, Argentina.
So Sans Barrio getting his first minutes. Vila again asks for it, steps inside the arc this time, and he was fouled by Berra Fernandez, a long way away from the basket. Watch this.
That's it's either there's not a lot of contact, but he is moving into his space. So
Berra Fernandez checks out. And Vila with a chance to add to his team high 18 points, but misses the first. What do you think Luis Gil's thinking right now? Come on, guys, let's put this thing away.
He's probably thinking, why aren't we 10 up? Because this is just a 2-3 possession game. There's that balance now for Spain. When do they start to try and control the clock and manage the possessions? Because if they do that too soon, Argentina are going to drop a couple of threes here, or they're going to drop a couple of perimeter shots.
Well, that was a tough play by Solanas, and you'd almost think that you've got to get a touch over to Lopez, the way he's playing. They get it to Corvalan. Lema. And Solanas. And again, the well is dry right now for everybody, with the exception of Lopez.
And on that possession, Corvalan had it with about 4 or 5 seconds. Whereas if Lopez had had it with 4 or 5, he'd have actually really attacked it. Little penetration kick. They end up with a tough shot at the bottom of the shot clock without actually making Spain turn at all.
Molins has checked back in. He's got the 4 fouls. He was the player that really sparked Spain in the first half. And Vila kind of bulled his way in. Cafarro went up for the rebound, and Argentina not feeling like you see the sense of urgency from them, but they're running out of time. Vila goes in again, and he travels. Luis Gil really working the referee about something. So Molins comes out. Sans Barrio back into the game for Spain.
Yeah, he's almost going offense and defense to Molins at the moment, trying to protect him as much as he can.
And just Corvalan, his pass to Cafarro. Cafarro cut the wrong way, I think.
Wasn't there at all. It's like he saw a back cut and no one else saw it. This is what I think Argentina have to do. They have to get up the floor, because Spain aren't going to get down the far end and then have a lot of options to try and create if there's less time on the shot clock. So it's smart to try and make something happen. They've still, no one's got fouls to give, so it's going to be, tough to retain control, but they've got to try and force the issue a little.
Molins now 3 minutes to go. 7 on the shot clock. Vila open but well short. I tell you, they haven't been able to slam the door shut.
No, not at all. No,
And
nice look.
Cafarro catches it in the low block but then throws it away.
Spain then attacking the hoop too quickly. Or they could trap something that's going to try. And the other thing about it is that there's a lot of guys on the Spanish team who prefer to either Vila or Molinas to shoot the ball. So they really could gamble up the floor. They're going to have to do it differently than just going after it because they're in a foul situation. Otherwise, you're just going to go and lose the game by 6 points. And
what's the point? You've come all this way. In and coming out is Vila. Again, it's just been this type of game. I mean, Spain just leaving the door open. Maybe, just maybe, something special in store for Argentina here at the finish. Missed both.
That's another example. Just will not shut the door. It could have been a 9-point game. You feel relatively comfortable. All of a sudden, it's still only 7. 2 minutes to go in the game.
Yeah, you got to play him. He's the only player that looks like he's dangerous offensively. Valle spin. And a foul boxing out, keeping Vila away from the ball. They fouled, so it's going to be the foul.
To give themselves a little bit more space.
Well, he's 4 of 10 at the free throw line. 7 of 21 from the floor. He's got 19 points and 10 rebounds. And the Aggie, the Texas A&M big man, gets it to fall. And the look on the coach of the Argentina. The Argentina coach is.
I'm just going to say, if you're a Spanish fan, though, that small group of Spanish bite those fingernails.
Solanas rather, takes it, misses it badly.
And there's this, why not Lopez? It's a strange one. And almost like the game feels like it's now just filtering away.
And Follow hits it, and you can see with Spain, they basically have 1 foot in the semifinals now, going up by 12 points, with Argentina just really struggling to put the ball in the basket.
Well, if there's such a thing in this game as a dagger, I think that's just it. All of a sudden, for the first time in a long time, they have a double-digit lead, and 1:22 to go. It's a 4-possession game, and it's a very hard ask. But then again, stats never lie. So Argentina are not a 17% shooting team from the three-point line. So go down and get the right person his shot, and you'd expect them to make a couple of shots here real quick.
So that Argentina fan hasn't been pleasant viewing for him. Spain just shading that stat, 22 to 18 points in the paint. Yeah, I think we're going to have to see a lot of improvement from Spain if they go ahead and win this game and they take on Italy. There you see the Argentina fans, perhaps a family member.
Well, the other way of looking at this Spanish, maybe it's just a good Spanish team, not a great one like they've had in the past. And so the coach and the coaching staff have just decided this is the only way we think we can get a medal, and we're going to have to play this way. And okay, that's exactly what they should be doing. because they don't really look like they've got an out-and-out natural shooter. They don't really look like they have an inside presence yet. They've got a lot of guys who are very similar. They're good. They're good players. There's no outstanding guy.
There's Corvalon finally. He's going to go to the basket, and he's going to draw the foul, and that's what he's been not able to do at all today, or what he hasn't done.
Yeah.
Tomic with the fouls, fourth. It's almost as if he's been under too much control. He hasn't felt the freedom or whatever, for whatever reason.
And they sat him down for a very, very long time in the first half when he just picked up 2 fouls. And that's different coaches, different philosophies, different reasoning, but he definitely hasn't been as effective or as dangerous since that period of sitting out for a long time. Because he's averaged into the 30s. He's only going to average 25 minutes on today's game.
And now they're going to tell...
Yeah, he was just stepping off the court.
Terminato, he's got to give him his distance so he can make his pass. And now an unsportsmanlike foul. A hold. On Corvalon.
If he's holding, if he's holding before the ball comes in, it has to be unsportsmanlike because there's no basket action you can actually perform when the ball's not in play. So, and the referee's explaining it to him. You were holding, so. I think we're not far. It's still only a 10-point game.
Look at that, and still, and then Molins of all people misses 2 free throws. So even that play has just not killed Argentina.
Still here in a 3. It's a 2-shot game, and all of a sudden it's back on.
That's the man you want to foul Vila if you're going to foul somebody because he's had his struggles.
But you got to foul him. You got to foul him a while ago.
Instead, they let him walk right down the lane and scores an easy one. So it's 66-54, Spain. And Corvalon misses the jumper. Spain now going to try to play a little bit of keep away. And the ball goes out of bounds. Font is like, wasn't I just pushed out of bounds? It did almost look like he had been pushed. Watch this.
Yeah. He did actually fall that way to try and get away from the guy trapping, but the first guy did make contact, putting him off balance.
Yeah. So I think it's going to take a miracle now for Argentina. Corvalon drives in and scores, and where has that been all game long?
Well, right at the beginning, that first phase of the game when they started to get some momentum early on, he would break the defense down. He hasn't done it for such a long time. He goes on to 10, but...
That was the play of the game right there, Vila with the alley-oop pass from Molinas. Cloches back in the game. So Tomic goes out after picking up his 5th foul. So Corvalon doesn't score, and then let's try it. Terminato gets the offensive rebound. Cafaro also had a putback opportunity, didn't make it, but Terminato now gets the foul, goes to the line, so they can
it's another one.
Get another one.
All you have to do is box out and get a rebound, and you're 10 up with the basketball, and Spain won't do that. Just it keeps the crowd interested.
Yeah, exactly. Slows up the game a little bit as well. That doesn't remain. Well, 30.5 seconds, and Spain struggling with some of their free throw shooting. 8-point game. I wouldn't rule anything out happening at this stage.
Well, you've got, and they didn't do it last time, Argentina. You've got to think, and there's a technical foul now being called.
On.
I just saw the signal. I'm pretty sure that's, yep. Francesco
Cafaro
yeah.
was called for a technical and
they've
offsetting.
called it. I think they had a little coming together
Okay.
after the shot.
You see Argentina struggling really 33% inside the arc, and also just 17% of their threes.
And you're scoring 58 points against Spain are pretty much up to their norm. 70 points. I think this is Spain. We're seeing a team. This is it. This is as good as they can be, and they're good. But Argentina, I think Argentina have missed an opportunity. Lopez gave him a shot at it. Covenant hasn't really delivered at the same level, and
Ballet as well. Their captain.
And they just not made shots you have to make. But you've got to steal or foul right on the pass. You can't wait here.
And they foul Esteban. Well, that was not an unsportsmanlike. Fouls on Terminato.
If that's a normal action on the ball, we have a problem.
The mustachioed Esteban is at the line, and this is the first one.
Therefore, a great foul.
Especially if he misses this one. So, 3 3-pointers behind. Lopez comes back in.
And again, where's he been for 3-4 minutes? They sat him down.
Corvalán is going to push it quickly, and that's what he's got to do, and that's, wow. That just is almost inexplicable.
And you know what? I actually had a little bit of sympathy on it because he got hit as he started to make the drive, but the officials would let him play through that, expecting him to score the layup. And you can go and speak to any coach, and they're like, call the foul. If he makes it, it's 2+1. If he doesn't, he's going to the free throw line. He definitely got hit around when he was picking the ball up.
So, Spain against Italy, and judging from Italy's performance, I would say they would be the favorites going into that contest. If they come out focused, they seem to have a lot more options putting the ball in the basket.
Well, they beat Spain in the under-18s in Europe and got the bronze medal, and they look like they've got some real positive momentum. And Spain are going to have to take all the energy out of the game, but then Italy didn't want to play too quickly against Lithuania, so it may be similar to this.
And Spain are going to win it. They're going to stay unbeaten. And not sure why you're committing a foul now. 68-58. So Spain have. I mean, would you characterize how would you characterize their performance defensively today?
I would say efficient and professional, without being
overly enthusiastic.
Yeah, I would. It's almost like we have to not allow this, and that's what they've decided to do. But they've given up lots of open looks. Now, that could be because they don't rate Argentina as a shooting team, so they're going to offer him that and nothing else.
So that's how it finishes. Spain are going to win it 70-58. They will advance to the semifinals to face Italy. They remain unbeaten. Argentina's odyssey here in Cairo has come to an end. At least they will now play the classification games, but not for a medal. So the shooting woes of Argentina detailed in those stats.
How about you come into a quarterfinal and you want your best game? You go 16% from the three-point line. And they were, not those were wide open looks. And why wouldn't Spain give you, until you start making them, let them take them. You know, turnover wise, both teams okay, it's one of those okay stats. That almost sums up the game. Both teams were okay in the way they tried to do things, but they cancelled each other out. And from the moment Lopez sat down, Spain were already up, but they had no look at getting back in the game, because Lopez was the only guy with 21 points that looked like he was going to give him a shot at getting back in the game.
Well, in terms of past results and everything else, you know, Spain had won 6 of the previous 8 games against Argentina at the Under-19 World Championship or World Cup, and now they've made it 7 out of 9, 3 in a row. Obviously, different teams, different players, but it's, you know, Argentina just did not play at their best today. Some of that is owed to the, as you say, the defense of Spain, but maybe this was one they're going to believe that they should have won when they go back and they look at the game tape. A lot of missed opportunities.
Well, you have few. You don't have that. If you're Argentina, how many chances do you have to beat Spain in a quarterfinal to get to a semi-final? You don't have that many, and one of those. That's not saying anyone's good, bad, or whatever. This was a chance they had to win. If they'd have, I would go as far as saying, if they approached this like Italy approached their game, they had a real shot at winning it, because Italy just would not allow anything to happen that was going to take them out of what they wanted to do.
So Vila ended up with the game high 24 points and 11 rebounds for Spain. It was Molins that really kind of turned things around for Spain in the first half. When they were trailing, he came off the bench and really brought a spark to the team. Lopez for Argentina was arguably the only player who came out today and brought it consistently offensively. The big guns just didn't show up. Corvalan, as well as Caltero.
And it wasn't even just, you know, some of those individuals didn't show up, but as a team, it wasn't happening. And then apart from Lopez, no one was going to create.
Well, the key for these coaches, I mean, is to survive and advance and to try to get into a position where you can compete for a medal. It doesn't really matter if you win pretty, does it? I mean, you just want to win. It's important. A lot of it is tied to funding. When you get funding for the basketball federations, and I know that Spain have that tradition. We've all seen it really for the last, what, 2 decades of success at all levels, and it's another sign that things are moving in the right direction for Spanish basketball.
Always. And it's like in recent years they've had like real superstars on their team. Going back to, you mentioned Gasol, way back to '99,
Navarro,
all those guys.
Yeah.
But then you've had guys like Rubio playing, you've had Abrines, and all these guys coming through.
Sergio Rodriguez.
There's no superstar on this team.